coaches and the players just played, very inspired football. Proud of those guys, the leadership, the toughness that they showed. And again, a team like Tennessee, as we know, you can't give them easy opportunities. They force some of those as well, but I felt like, our first interception, we just threw it up there. We just can't make that mistake. And then again, we throw one behind the line of scrimmage. We don't have that option on that play. That's based on what the defense gave us. It's a give all the way. So we got to, just in that's one of those mistakes that just can't do and can't make. And then coming off our own end zone there, off our own goal line, really poor execution, and they're really poor. And just got to get better. We can put our heads down and go right back to work. We have obviously, a quarterback, and evaluate that and figure out who the best guy is to, help us get to number 4, find our 4th win, and put everything we got into getting ready, dust ourselves off, and go right back at it. We got a good enough team to still have a really good year. You got a lot of football in front of us, but we got a lot of improvement to make as well, and that goes without saying. So I'll open it up.
Brent, your first quarterback competition as a head coach. What are you going to be looking for over the next few days?
Yeah, who's the most consistent and can execute the basics of our offense consistently, and it's not real complicated, and then you got to get in the game, and then you got to perform too. That's part of it too.
What did you see quarterbacks will handle that mentally and physically when you are starting to find out who the better quarterback is?
Yeah, I would be surprised if that doesn't bring out the best in them. There'll be some disappointment on Jackson's part, absolutely. But again, he's a tough young man, and he knows he needs to be better. And again, this is a game of performance, and he'll have the opportunity to go right back at it again here this week. And he's a great teammate. He's a selfless guy. Again, nobody's harder on him than him. And he got incredibly high standards. Standards have always driven, every decision he makes and who he is as a young man. And he'll respond the right way.
Brent, you said you did say Michael sparked you to say that was obvious. What was it about him that seemed to turn the team on? What was it about him that got the team going?
Well, again, I think what you saw, and again, listen, there's, I watched it the first time, and he's a tremendous athlete, and so there were several times there where we had edge pressure that we didn't block, and he got outside of, and so he has some playmaking ability, and he can hurt you with his legs, but that can't be your game, and but we did have a few drives where we got into a nice rhythm, and he showed that he can make some plays, and then there's some plays out there too that we have opportunities there that we didn't execute, we didn't make the throws, but that's the game of football. So but in his first real action, there's some things that that you liked about it, and certainly things that you didn't.
Brent, there seems that there's going to be a lot of talk about the quarterback, but it seems like as a whole, the offense, there's a lot of lack of execution. How frustrating is that in the 4th game and some of those same mistakes?
Yeah, it's very frustrating. There's just some bad football. Guys getting whooped and beat and not winning their matchups, and don't like that at all. And so you got to go back and watch it. And the number one thing that I look at is what are we doing? From a scheme standpoint, coaching standpoint, to put our guys in position to be successful. Are we enhancing the strengths and protecting their weaknesses? And so there's a lot that goes into that. And but we got to get better. Again, Tennessee's really good, and so is a lot of teams that we're going to play, and we got to get better. And so, part of that, you don't have to reinvent the wheel in regards to going right back and going to work, and We had a few guys back this week, lost some guys early in the game. You know, Nick restrained his quad and lost Deion, and Taylor Tatum went out. Kendall Dolby will, again, I think it's just an ankle fracture, and so he'll have surgery pretty quickly. And but trying to think, and the other guys will be day to day. You know, we'll figure out what those issues are. Dislocation.
Was Deion's injury serious? Do you know?
I'm sorry?
Deion injury.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know the extent. It's a soft tissue.
Sorry, Brent, did you get the sense that Jackson never quite got comfortable tonight? He looked, whether it was the moment or his guys around him
No,
at the
I
moment,
think
or-
you saw that early. And we just were a little off. So, no, I mean, obviously, again, everything happens a little faster. And again, the windows are tighter and gaps are smaller and all those things. So, you know, I wait till I watch the tape and figure that out.
What was the process like deciding to make the change? Did you think about it earlier in that second turnover? And was it you?
Maybe a drive. Yeah, maybe a drive. So, again, like I just said, the first turnover was just like, whoa, you know, that's not, you know, you got to throw that one away. Not there, don't force that. Jackson's been really good about not forcing things, and that was a little bit not like him. And then, you know, we throw the one behind us. We fumble the ball right after we force the fumble. We fumble the ball right there in the red zone. And you don't like that. Sometimes that's football. You know, they got big guys, and we got to do a better job of protecting the ball, and we come right back and, you know, we have a lateral behind the line on a RPO that, you know, the read is, you know, running all day. And again, we had the, you know, the safety as well. So that's whatever, 12 points, you know, that in a game like that, you know, every point matters, and just didn't feel good. There was not enough other evidence that we'll be just fine.
Your defense, I mean, the offense was struggling, your defense never backed down. It looked like, did you feel like it was a really good day for your defense?
Yeah, well, again, coming out of halftime, again, you look at all the statistical information and where are we at in the game, and again, we're down one in the turnover margin. But everything else, for the most part, again, it was a push under the circumstances. And so, hey, defense go out and get a stop and get the offense the ball back, and we're down 2 scores, and we got a great chance here. You know, we got to play well. You got to play well together, and got to take care of the ball. And again, listen. Again, I understand how Tennessee, everything changed a little bit for them and what they're going to do. But I also saw us play when everything was wide open. They had a wide open playbook, and watched our guys compete and perform and play at a really, really high level. Things were going to be difficult all night long, and based on what I saw.
Brent, on the second fumble, just to be clear, he read it wrong. It was supposed to be a run, and he threw it behind the line of scrimmage.
Right.
When it was supposed to be at least even or ahead. That's a lack of
Just
credit.
yeah, we don't have any backward RPOs.
Brent, go ahead, sorry.
Brent, I know every team has injuries. That's part of playing the game.
Yeah.
It seems like you guys have had just a really bad luck of injuries. Have you been able to figure out exactly why? Is it just one of those things that just sometimes that just is how it happens, or?
Figure out why.
I mean, I don't know.
Like Kendall Dolby gets a dislocation in his ankle.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even really, again, know how to answer that, other than
I guess how-
if the injuries were, you know, in all 3 phases, or, you know, on both sides of the ball, maybe so. But it's just one of those years.
Yeah, just frustrating for you as a coach to see that many guys.
I don't really have an opinion, you know.
Brent, the long passes on defense didn't look like busts.
Say that again?
The long passes you guys gave up on defense, the defense performed well, except for.
Yeah, they hit a couple of shots, yeah.
Was that just a guy losing leverage in coverage?
Yeah.
It didn't look like a bust.
No, Yeah, they did a good job of hitting the guy in the seam a couple times. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Eli Bowen corner.
Yeah, he got in, did well. You know, probably should have played him a little more. The other guys played good, but he's done well. Whatever opportunity he's gotten, he's done a nice job. Plays big, plays with fantastic technique, fundamentals, highly skilled guy.
Coach, in regards to the offensive line, are you seeing the issues as just physical issues, or is it lack of execution?
It's a little bit of both. It's both. Yeah, it's both. It's both that, we had a couple tackles for loss. We got wrong communication, and again, to me, that goes back to us as coaches. Every unit on the team's got to communicate. That's part of the game of football, and so, I'm tired of watching the same thing. So just go back and I'd rather everybody be wrong and be on the same page than just one guy's doing this, one guy's doing that. And you can't play good football when you're doing that.
The fourth quarter, young quarterbacks. In the modern day, how do you balance still a young quarterback, 5 starts, with the fact that nobody cares how young anybody is anymore? You got to produce and you got to play well. How do you balance that?
Yeah, I mean,
the old days that.
I think you give some grace, and there's a body of work that you evaluate. You certainly maintain a perspective and know that there's a pace at which everybody grows and matures at a different pace to some degree, but also, again, when I talk about having some grace, again, young guys are going to make some mistakes. But again, tonight was one of those nights where we felt we had to have a chance to give ourselves any chance to win, and based on, again, a body of work early in the first couple of quarters of the game.
Can you from the fourth quarter that you guys had, you started moving the
Say
ball.
that.
In the fourth quarter, you guys started moving the ball a little better. Can you take some of that into the next game as far as confidence?
Yeah.
For the offensive
No,
ability?
yeah. Again, I'm not. Again, I just use it for its, what's appropriate, just in context. Hey, man, there was some, and so you asked, and I'm just responding. I'm not sitting here promoting that everything was great, and but there was a couple of drives where we executed and got into a nice rhythm, and guys were making some plays, and again, I have a great appreciation for the leaders on this team. When I went to the locker room, again, it's never going to be fun, never going to be good, but there's a lot of guys that are heavily invested, and again, we got a lot of football in front of us right now. We had some really sloppy, ugly football at times tonight, and man, there was some fantastic football too. And so I don't want to ever, not recognize that too. And my job is to put it all together and give us an opportunity to win. And so that's what we'll do. Again, we'll evaluate a few things. Hopefully we get some guys healthy, and we got a lot of work to do as a staff. Certainly we got a lot of improvement to do as a team, and we'll put everything we got into the next week, just like we do every week. And we got a great challenge going on, our first road game, and at a place like Auburn, and so a lot of work to do.
What about Hawkins being ready for the moment? You get guys that have tough situations. Some freshmen we have run into an SEC game unexpected. How did you feel he handled that aspect of it?
Yeah, good. I love Mike. Mike is he's confident. He's loose in the right ways. He's not gonna the moment's not gonna overwhelm him. Even though, again, he's a young guy and things happen fast. And Mike is pretty excited. You saw him. He's 3 or 4 steps ahead of the play a few times, and that's going to happen too. And you certainly we got to slow things down and let things develop. There's that piece of it. But he's a great competitor. He's got a tremendous amount of talent, and he cares. And all again, So there's a lot that you really have an appreciation for Mike about.
When you made the change, did you talk to Jackson at all at that time, or did you talk to him at halftime or anything like that? And what was that conversation like, if you did?
No, we didn't. I didn't. Coach Luttrell did, but I didn't at the time. And I would just relay him, hey, Mike's going in.